Welcome to FE Fitness. Thank you for joining us for our fourth installment of our nutritional debate. Today I have once with me again James Cooper, the head of nutrition here at FE Gym, alongside Josh Bryan, a physiotherapist actually of FE Fitness, our newest addition to the team. Josh, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Would you mind giving our members just a little bit of background about the awesomeness that is you and where you've come from regarding your passion for helping people in the industry, not only breaking them down on the gym floor, but putting them back together on the massage table and the physio treatment room?
Yeah, so I've been personal training for quite a long time now, for probably about 8 years. I then, as I was doing that, I decided that I wanted to go on the physiotherapy route, just so that it meant that I could help people recover from injuries. I did a lot of work with the NHS, like working with people with brain injuries and really helping people in that way as well. So I've got like a good background of the nervous system, people with like brain injuries and things like that, as well as musculoskeletal. So it's kind of given me an all-round kind of perception on personal training as well as physiotherapy.
I think neurology is key to it all. In any case, I think it's the centre of it all. But we won't get too in depth with our discussion of therapy. I think that's probably best for another video series, probably 2 or 3 video series in its entirety. But Josh, today, what would you like to ask us, and how could we help in providing a bit of insight and light to the nutrition?
Okay, so I think this is something that quite a lot of people would be interested in, is actually what are your go-to supplements?
All right, okay. So like the mainstay and the most important of supplements to use. James, I don't know if you agree with me, but I've been around the industry for 15 years now, and I remember when I first started.
With all the supplements then.
I worked with the plan, the Bill Phillips Body for Life plan. Do you remember that plan?
Yes.
I think you were probably like 8 or 9 when it came out.
No, really, it was actually.
Because I was only about 15 or 14 when it started coming out, and I started working in the gym. And it was a great plan.
You're 22, right, Justin?
Yes, that's
He
right.
looks 22.
That's right. Actually 19.
That's the 19
But this plan was great. I mean, at the time, I was like, wow, it's so well structured, it integrates nutrition, and not only that, but it also integrates a direct debit to all the supplements that you had to purchase. They were good products. However, they were really good products, so much so that I think later down the line, he sold part of EAS to a medical food prep company because they were actually kicking them out of business with MRPs, meal replacement products. So he did very well for himself. But that's where I started, and along the lines, I studied more to do with nutrition, understood the variables behind macronutrients, what they were, what the effects they had on hormonal systems and everything else. But also stumbled on a lot of nonsense regarding supplements. Now, supplements are sold at extortionate amounts of markups. Amino acids do not cost hundreds of pounds to purchase, but they are sold at hundreds of pounds to the consumer. But along the way, I refined 3 main things that a person should always include into their supplement regime. And these are staples, and everything else is just an added benefit. And don't get me wrong, in certain scenarios and cases where there may be a deficiency, like for example, vitamin D3 or iron, which you may need some methylators to help with that as well, then you can obviously add extra supplements. But there needs to be a warranted need for that, and there also needs to be a very precise understanding of what is not contained in the body. But generally speaking, I feel as though everybody should take a good quality grade probiotic to sustain the balance of bacteria within our bodies. Did you know, Josh, that there's actually 3 times the volume of bacterial cells to human cells in our bodies?
I didn't know that.
You know now.
In essence, we're walking petri dishes of bacteria, if you think about it. Now, the importance behind understanding that is bacteria have their own metabolic cycle, just as we do. And they also release toxins like we do. Now, if we have an overabundance of bad bacteria circulating in our gut, you can imagine what havoc that's wreaking on all the systems in our body. So having a good grade probiotic not only will settle your digestive system, but it will also have a major impact on your hormonal system, your neurology, providing opportunity to not have that brain fog, along with recovery and just generally better well-being. in addition to...
Oh, but there's different qualities, remember?
Of course,
of course, yeah.
definitely.
So different qualities. I mean, that's the thing I'm going to say next. What would you go to as a probiotic? What would you purchase yourself? What do we purchase ourselves as a probiotic?
Well, James, I think you and I have both had terrible experience with over-the-shelf products from, I'm not going to mention the big commercial names, but most pharmacies out there that will sell you saying, oh, this is the great live cultures. Maybe they are live, those cultures.
When they're made, yeah.
At the time of manufacture, definitely not at the time of consumption. But what we use over here is a probiotic called Vivomix, or its brother company, VSL3 in America. This is our recommendation as far as probiotics are concerned. We've tried a lot of different other types, and you get a little more precise strains that you can use if you really need to, but that needs the aid and assistance of a biochemist or someone that has a really precise understanding of where that bacteria overabundance or growth is coming from. But unless you have that access to blood panels and a continual stool test, not just one stool test, you do that into multiple to actually find that strain, then generally a good probiotic that contains a good balance and a high quantity of pro-beneficial bacteria would be Vivomix or VSL3. And it has to be kept refrigerated. Any probiotic worthwhile would not be something you leave on the shelf in your kitchen. It would be something that you keep in the fridge.
Keep it alive, yeah.
So, well, what is your experience now with probiotics? I mean, you started...
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So I, it sounds like a nothing, but I took antibiotics recently and basically my guts were absolutely ruined from them. And it was like that for a month.
I remember.
Yeah, no, it was really, I remember. I was really, really ill. I was walking out of this. But genuinely, it was really, really bad. Took some Vivomix, and within 2 days, I was back to normal. Like that, literally, completely fine. Because what the antibiotics do, they kill all the bacteria in your gut. So it leaves basically the bad bacteria take over in your gut. And so I had obviously bad flora in my gut. Took the VSL and they refilled my gut with good bacteria. Back to normal. Incredible. I felt really different energy, no brain fog. Felt dreadful after the antibiotics. A lot of people quite often throughout the year, right, they take antibiotics for different illnesses, but they're not replenishing their guts with good bacteria. So I'd say pretty much most people, a good probiotic to be the first go-to thing.
100%. Also going again on probiotics, when it comes down to female-specific clientele, a lot of women ask me, how do I get leaner legs? And they concern themselves with phase 2 detoxification compounds that are found generally in cruciferous vegetables, which are important. Don't get me wrong, veggies are very important to include in your diet. But more importantly, it comes down to how you're able to release the toxins that you actually successfully metabolized out of the body. And you cannot release any toxins appropriately unless you have the right form of bacterial balance occurring in the body. So for those of you, those ladies out there that are looking to tone down their legs, reduce the amount of inflammation, and just get a little bit leaner in the lower body, make sure to include a probiotic first and foremost before any type of estrogen detoxification product out there. And there are a lot of good ones that do the job. However, if you don't back that good work that you're putting into your body up with a good foundation, like a good probiotic, you're more likely just going to regain all that fat back into your thighs again. Second product.
Yeah, second product. Yeah. So I'm gonna guess you're the same. It's gonna be official. Good omega-3. The one that I use and Justin both of us use are Solgar Triple Strength. Good medical grade quality products. In terms of quantity, if you look at most fish oils, the amount of EPA and DHA, the active part of the fish oil, it's going to be very low in a store-bought product. What we advocate to our clients is a combination of 2.5 grams of EPA DHA, which equates to about 3 or 4 tablets. For an average store-bought product, Justin, you need about 25 tablets. Yeah. You end up just exact. But it's interesting as well, if you're having a fish oil and burping up fish, fishy burps, it means it's a low-quality product. Yeah. The reason being for that is actually with those highly refined products like the Solgar, a lot of the fish has actually been removed. All you're left with is actually the essential fatty acids.
Yes. And why does that help?
So with polyunsaturated fats like omega-3, their fats are reduced. It's really simply, they're the ones that reduce inflammation. You have pro-inflammatory fats and anti-inflammatory fats, and omega-3s are the anti-inflammatory fats.
Okay. So it also makes the cells more permeable as well. And what that means is, so you have your cell membrane around the cellular wall, and depending on how able signals and messages and nutrients are able to enter and exit the cell would depend on how permeable that cell is. Now, it's very important for a cell to have a certain type of viscosity so that it actually takes in signals and stores nutrients like glycogen along with other amino acids to create anabolic effect or detoxification effects. But if it's not permeable enough, as is seen with a high diet high in transaminated fats, then it can cause havoc, like diabetes will come around, or atherosclerosis will come around as well. So polyunsaturated fats like fish oil that are higher concentration of EPA particularly can help and set more permeability of the cell membrane, making the signaling effect of hormones that much more effective. Now, in addition to that, DHA is very, very important for the brain because that helps to reduce the oxidative effect that cortisol or excitatory neurotransmitters may have on certain receptors within the brain itself. So for individuals that suffer from certain ailments like ADHD or other cognitive dysfunction, having a fish oil come into the diet really helps to settle that amount of stress that the brain is under, which also leads us into the third and most important product, in my opinion, magnesium. Magnesium is highly underrated. It can really help a lot of neurological issues as well as physiological issues, depending on the source of magnesium. Generally speaking, here we see a lot of people come in with psychological stress. They work behind computers, they overstimulate the pituitary by looking into artificial screens all day long. Thus, we try to give them a magnesium source that's going to help to die down the overactive brain or high excitatory brain. And that magnesium that has the highest binding effect to the receptors in the brain would be magnesium L-threonate, whereas magnesium orotate is very, very good in helping muscular contraction and also helping to set the right type of energy release in the body when it's required. So magnesium is very, very underrated. Anything you have to add about magnesium?
About magnesium? No, it's one of the best things why we use it really. The main reason is to help with sleep. As Justin said, magnesium L-threonate is one that binds best to the brain. First time I took it, I thought, I'm being honest with you, I thought, God, it can't help that much. I'm not joking, Josh. I took it and literally was like, oh, and then just had the best sleep of my entire life because I was so deficient in it. That was the whole point. I was wired for it. Took this and it was absolutely incredible. I mean, nothing really to add to that, but about the fish oils, one of the really big reasons it's important is with people with high cholesterol. So what it does is it increases your good cholesterol, so HDL, a high density lipoprotein, and reduces your LDL, or bad cholesterol. So in the other video, we're talking about good fats and bad fats. This is one of the good fats, the good fat, I call it.
Reduces circulatory triglyceride levels.
Exactly, yeah. So triglycerides are lower circulating in your blood as well. So you're less likely to get plaque build up in your arteries as well.
Exactly.
So incredibly good. Basically, these three supplements, they're going to help with training, but they're going to help your health.
Yeah, and how they
That would be my next question,
Yeah,
actually, like how it was actually going to help.
On a bullet point fashion, if we run through them all, the probiotics are going to set your immune system and your neurological systems up in a point where it can be able to handle stress and detoxify from stress, whatever that stress may be it food, environmental stimulus. In addition to that, in terms of handling or compounding the effect of handling stress, magnesium is going to have you better cope with your perception of what is happening to you. So, for example, a stressful situation, a person that's depleted in magnesium, for example, a squat, may seem a lot more vigorous to somebody that has a higher abundance of magnesium, particularly if that magnesium store is built up over time. When it comes to muscular contraction, also the mineral levels in terms of magnesium levels, you're able to sustain longer periods of contraction through muscle tissue with the right balance of minerals too. So that's where magnesium will help give you a better, longer training session, less stress perception in your daily living as well, with a fortified immune system of a probiotic. And all together tying that up, we add a fish oil in there to reduce inflammation from the training, which also reduces the amount of stress hormone needed to be released to release more energy, release more glucose into the system, because there is an abundance of calm in the body. So when the body is in a state of stress, it releases glucose, and the glucose goes into our bloodstream for energy. However, if the state of stress is exacerbated for unwarranted needs,
fight or flight,
then it causes a negative compounding effect to the immune system. So in essence, those three paired together will modulate your cortisol, will increase your immunity, and help you to have a better quality training session and recovery and sleep lifestyle in essence.
Okay, that's great. That's very different to the typical
It's
answer.
they really are, but we're not trying to just be different, but they generally are the ones that help, because Justin and me use all the different supplements, trying to sell, trying to clients, and those are the go-to, the best supplements to be using, those three.
Blood glucose control. That's in essence what it comes down to, maintaining a healthy blood glucose control. Once you're able to do that, then the whole body generally works as a better machine. But as soon as you go over, a certain threshold of glucose in the blood, it wreaks havoc in almost every hormonal and physiological system you can think of.
Great, that was really helpful.
Great.
Cheers,
Well,
Josh.
Thank you so much for joining us, Josh.
Cheers, Josh. Thank you.
If anybody's looking for good treatment to get themselves back on board or under the squat rack, please email josh@fegym.com. And for those of you who would like an integrated nutritional program toward whatever goal you feel as though you would like to aspire towards, please email james@fegym.com. And I hope to see you down at our gym here on 2-12 Cambridge Heath Road, just opposite the Crossrail Whitechapel station. Have a good 2017 and stay tuned for much more material to come and forge your status.